Hey, what up guys, it's Epically New with you guys again, and today we are going to go through a Elena guide. So basically I've been using Elena for a while now, and I've been trying out different builds on her. This is just a current build that I did for the previous video because everyone was using counter build. So counter build is one of the ways to go, speed build is another way to go. Of course there are other ways to build her, and many ways to use her. So let's first go over this build. So we call this build number 1. I have one, this will be the first of 3. So first one will be the speed build that you see right here. Speed build is actually pretty good, but you have to utilize Elena very differently. So in other words, for the speed build, you want to go first. So in other words, because Elena's base speed is only how much? 103. It's very difficult to go first when it comes to a speed build unless you manage to get her to about 240 speed. But that requires quite a high amount of speed gear drops, I guess. Well, some of you can do it, I can't. Maybe I can get to about 230, but that's about it. But those of you that can do it, I recommend going for this build if you want to use Elena in your arena team. So Elena is actually very good in arena because she is able to drop the invincibility buff, which allows you to not take any single damage to any of your characters, meaning that you can just have Elena as your frontliner and then you just nuke with the rest of the other characters that you have. And also with the resistance buff, that would actually mean that the rest of your team members will not be getting any debuffs, or at least as much debuffs as you expect them to get. So in other words, if the enemy team does not have a single debuffer, then Elena in the front and 3 cleavers in the back just waiting for their turn can actually help you to win the game. Then what kind of artifacts would be good for this kind of Elena? So the artifacts that will be good for Elena in this kind of situations will not be Celestine. So in other words, maybe Water Origin might be good, but that would mean that enemy will be going first. So in other words, this might not be optimal as well. So then what other artifacts may be good? Well, I guess Idol's Cheer, because Idol's Cheer, let's say she goes first, Idol's Cheer will still be active at the moment. Like let's say your whole entire team takes damage, even though they take almost no damage, Idol's Cheer can help to push your highest attack dealer in terms of combat readiness up forward. Apart from that, Magara's Tome is actually very good as well. It can help you to get more turns, although I don't think you want to do that. Apart from that, maybe something that assists your whole entire team would be better, such as the Card of Small Miracles that help to increase a bit of your attack, not too much, but it's still something. If not, things like Midnight Bloom might be extremely good as well, because Midnight Bloom can increase your crit chance, increasing the amount of chances that your whole entire backliner can crit. And let's say if you go for a very nukey build for your backliner, I'm pretty sure your crit hit chance might be lower than 100%. So that might be a way to actually go. As for the healing artifacts, not exactly needed, especially if you're going for this kind of build. So what's the next build? Well, we go for the very niche counter build. So the counter build is very niche because it utilizes the S1 debuffs. So in other words, this is using for a more long type of battle, very dragged out kind of battle, where you utilize the S1 to dispel debuffs from your allies. So this dispels one debuff from each of your allies, or from 2 allies I mean. So this can help to clear debuffs as a sub debuffer, such as a what do you call this, a Wondrous Potion Vial on a single character. So that might be a way to use Elena, which is now very commonly used. Although I do not recommend this way, because that would mean that, let's say if you need speed, you're gonna have to use a speed boot, or if not a speed set, you're gonna be sacrificing some stats on that, meaning that you are not able to utilize the speed set. Or say, I don't know, you want to put more tankiness into it, that'll be a little bit more harder as well. Well, then again, speaking that way, using a speed set can also mean that your tankiness may drop, like mine, because I'm using a very weird speed boot along with a speed set, meaning that I have very low tankiness, but I have a little bit of utility. Well, counter set is not bad, it's not good either, because let's say you use a counter set, you'll be sacrificing a little bit of speed. She's already slow, but you're gonna make her slower, and that would mean that everybody else is gonna lap her, everybody else is gonna take some hits on her, her health is gonna go to 0, and you won't be able to utilize her S1 anyways. Her S3 is also pretty damn good, which also means that you will not be able to use it on time. Unless you guys are one of those god players where you have so much speed stats that you can still get to, let's say, 200 speed without even using a speed set, or a speed boot for that matter. But I don't think that many of you can do that. I mean, I can't do that. So yeah. So if you can do that, go ahead. It might be a very good option for you. If you can't do that, just stick to a normal set. So between these two, I'd recommend the speed set still for a tick cleave, for at least the, you know, those kind of where your whole entire cleave team is like a mile away from you, that kind of cleave team. Or if not, if you want to just go for the counter set kind of build, then your whole entire team better be tanks. If not, it's not gonna work ever. So what is build number 3? So build number 3 is actually a full tank build, meaning that your Elena will go last. Of course, you don't want her to be too slow, you just want her just behind your last damage dealer, meaning that, well, you're gonna cleave first. So in other words, you're gonna go for a cleave team such as like Oxlots. So you go Oxlots into, say, maybe BBK, into, say, maybe Vildred, and then Elena goes after say, no wait, that's a bad example. Okay, I got it. So let's say you use Ruzit. Yes, Ruzit will be much better of an option compared to, say, Oxlots, because it doesn't push Elena. So let's say Ruzit goes, and then say BBK goes, and then Vildred goes, then Elena goes. So in other words, after your cleaver goes, then you use Elena as an S3. So it's the same thing as the first build, the first speed build, but in this case you're building her last. So in other words, you want her to like drop the invincibility for the whole entire team, and then like give your team a second chance in case you don't get to cleave the whole entire enemy's team in time. But these are cleave builds. Of course, nowadays in the meta, you might have realized that cleave teams have started to fall off the meta. There are a lot of more tanky build teams nowadays, and cleave teams usually do not work anymore. So how can you use Elena in this case? Well, to be frank, Elena isn't very good in PvP content nowadays, but she is very good in terms of raid because of her cleanse. So things like Karkinis, she'll be very good in Karkinis because she's able to cleanse all the debuffs that's going on your characters, and that would mean that you'll have the chance to not proc Karkinis counter attack, yes, so giving you more chances to kill it safely. And also the effect resistance also helps to prevent it from dropping onto your characters in the first place. And invincibility just gives you another turn of survivability, so that is definitely great for Karkinis. And Juleaf Council as well. So yeah, so that is Elena. If you want to use her in PvP, I would suggest the first build. If not, then just use her for boss contents. Other than that, Elena at the end is a great pair, but you have to sort of tune them right. If you want to see how they're paired, watch my previous video on the Elena debut, and she'll be at the end of the video. I did have a lost because I forgot to swap out a character. Then the last match at the end of the video was where I debut Elena at the end. So yeah, anyways, that'll be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.